I want to get to a phrase I have not said in a long time, gentlemen. The Red Hot Wizards. Yes, the Red Hot Wizards took care of business Wednesday against the Lakers despite 26 points in 31 minutes from Anthony Davis. LA lost 3 of 4 since his return last week. Post-game, Anthony says he wants a little more desperation out of his team.
We control our own destiny, and so we have to start playing with a sense of desperation, even though we are in the playoffs as of right now, but we're not that far off from being in play-in games. So we got to play with a sense of desperation as well.
And look why he's saying that. The loss keeps the Lakers at 5th in the West, but they're only 2 games ahead of the 7th-place Portland Trail Blazers. That is, of course, the play-in line. LeBron still without an official return date from his high ankle sprain. Mark, do you share Anthony's concern about the Lakers?
Not as much. And I think the reason is that they gave themselves a great cushion, but the better thing is the teams underneath them, they ain't knocking on their door hard enough, man. It ain't like the Warriors and the Blazers and the Mavs are really, really lighting it up, and chasing them. So if there is something that I am worried about, it's their road once they get to the playoffs. Because look, they are the champs, right? Let's respect them being the champs, but let's not act like the Lakers had the hardest road to winning the championship last year. They beat an injured Portland team, an injured Houston with Russell Westbrook, a young Nuggets team, and then Miami. They didn't get the Bucks, the Clippers, Toronto, or Boston. This road, as a 5th or 6th seed this season, it's going to be 10 times harder. Obviously, we expect LeBron to be back, but that's what I'm worried about with the Lakers is their road once they get to the postseason and where they ended up finishing.
We're talking about all this excitement about the Suns, and it is a great day for them, but take a look at the standings. The Suns could end up seeing the Lakers in the first round. Could you imagine that, getting into the playoffs?
Hi, Chris
the first
Paul,
time in 11 years you got a chance
LeBron.
at a championship. And yeah, and it's LeBron and AD in the first round. So I think Anthony Davis is trying to set a tone here, which is showing good leadership. I actually was encouraged last night. He played his best game since coming back from the injury. It's not a surprise that he's warming up, but he had 10 of 20 shots last night, is playing better. And ultimately, I'm not saying that the Lakers' seed doesn't matter. Of course it matters, but they don't have a chance unless LeBron and Anthony Davis are healthy and playing very well. And so ultimately, that's what I'm paying attention to. And Anthony Davis is getting better. And it sounds like they're hopeful of LeBron. I know they haven't put a timetable on it, but I know LeBron's going to try to get back to play. He doesn't want to have his first games be in a play-in situation, so he's going to try. So to me, it's all about the health of those 2 stars, just like it was in the bubble last year.
I think it's more about not dropping in the standings than just the play-in, though, is the line, right? Because if they drop to 6th, that loss last night, it doesn't lock the Clippers in 3rd place, but it makes it a lot more likely, right? It's one of those times where teams are neck and neck in the standings, and a win for the Suns was kind of like 2 wins. And I think if they play the Clippers in the first round and you get Lakers-Clippers in round 1, without necessarily the full crowds at Staples Center, which we know are always tilting heavily to the Lakers, even for Clippers home games. We've just seen it over and over.
Great point.
That's a pretty tough first round, especially if LeBron James only comes back for maybe a game or 2 in the regular season, even if you're not thrown in a play-in game. I mean, Mark, what would your level of concern be there if you were a Lakers fan?
Well, I was at the Lakers' first home game with fans, and I thought their G League team was playing because it just seemed like there was remember when the G League team used to play at Staples, there'd be nobody in there. That crowd was trying to be loud, man, but in that mammoth place that they play in, you could barely hear them. So, yeah, I mean, and that's back to my point, whether it's the Clippers, whether it's the Suns, they're going to play somebody a note in the first round. And that's not to say that we don't expect them to beat them if LeBron is playing. But dang, first round, you got to get that. That's a hard road to toe.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.